Monday, the 24th of March. It's Project Nigel. It's damp, it's cold, it's wet, it's not very warm, and there's a small amount of water falling out of the sky. Last week, I managed to get Boaty to look like he was getting his hands dirty for video. This week I'm hoping to do a similar thing, but I'd like him to get even more dirty. Down at the other end of the yard is a Rover 623, a car that we really like, but also a car that's just failed its MOT. Inefficient handbrake, typical of them, and brakes binding, front and rear. Oh, and also a bit of corroded brake pipe. It's all brakes so far, and an insecure battery, which is my fault for not clamping it down when I replaced it. Anyway, he's running late, and it hasn't stopped raining, so I'm just going to have to crack on by myself. The first thing I would like to do, I reckon he's not coming today, but has forgotten to tell me. I'm now hoping that the arrival of Mr. Boaty will be enough to cheer me up. Will it though? Will it actually work? Or will in fact I end up feeling even more fed up than I was to start with? Let's find out. Just trying to listen to what I'm saying. Hello.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
Good question.
Well, this is about an hour later. Boaty and I have been having a lovely conversation about where we're going wrong, or more where I'm going wrong. And after putting the wheel back on the 600 and deciding that we should leave this job to a mechanic, I'm considering that we'll probably end up against everybody's advice and having lunch in the caravan. But if that's the case, if this caravan is going to stay here as a permanent feature, let's make a pathway with all these bricks. We're going to go for lunch in Boaty's car, which now doesn't really have any brakes. Let's get this. Oh shit, I forgot about this seat. I forget every time.
I know, and it gives me so much pleasure. Not because I'm just an unpleasant person, or that I don't like it.
But it is partly to do with that. Right, so Boaty and I are going to have practice of doing a podcast, so this will be a rather odd bit of video indeed. What are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
Oh, that's not very good, is it? Oh yeah, valeting, that was it. So, on that discussion then, of course, we're going to be opposing, aren't we? I will say that it is worthwhile valeting and cleaning your car properly, and you're bound to disagree with that.
Right, that's boring.
What, disagreeing, or?
Hold on.
Is that it? Is that...
So,
a slightly boring conversation that was worthwhile voicing over. My advice to you...
Tram. Have a look at the tram.
I'm looking at the tram. It's going very, very slowly, isn't it?
It's going slowly.
Just like you. So maybe you should ignore that bit and just assume that I don't have a clue what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to assume that you don't have a clue what you're talking about, because you are more successful than I am. At the moment.
And I like the way you put the at the moment. You're asking me what I would advise Hubnut to do if he wants to make a future in making YouTube videos when he already does make a living out of it.
I didn't say that, did I?
Right, what would I
just said, what would you advise him to do?
Oh, I'd advise him to buy a Rover instead of a Citroen.
God. He has bought a Rover.
I know it didn't work out for him, did it?
It kind of did. It was one of the best cars he's ever bought.
With the arrow pointing down. So that's like, it's a pass sign, isn't it? The arrow's there, so it can tell you to pass on the right or pass on the left. This one is suggesting that you pass underneath it.
I think we can assume it's German. Name for a one-legged man.
Ian.
I was thinking Stan.
Stan.
Yeah.
as soon as you've negotiated your way out of this parking spot, which might be a bit tight, I have a subject for us to talk about.
There's a chap coming, and he looks wonderful. He's my favourite chap.
Oh, him?
Isn't he great?
Oh, yeah.
He's absolutely cracking. Bless him. Lovely coat, shirt, tie.
Yeah.
He's totally my favourite.
And you'd like the way he walks like a penguin.
He's walking with, look, he's obviously got, oh, I'll have that one.
My subject would be milk and why it's good to use to consume any kind of dairy products except for the cruelty side of it, which obviously I'm not particular.
What do you mean, except for the cruelty side of it?
Besides that, milk.
What do you mean besides that?
Besides that, milk.
Right, so
good
if you want to discuss the Holocaust, you're going to say, yeah, I mean, you know, apart from the cruelty bit,
that's not why you don't drink milk.
It's totally about the cruelty bit.
That's not why you don't like it.
It should be. It should be why everybody doesn't like it.
But it's not for you, is it? Your opinion is that milk is for babies and that's it.
That's what God intended.
Because he gives us taste buds that want those things. And then also makes it clear that it's not a good idea.
It's nothing to do with God. God gives us the
toothache.
God gives us the gift of choice. And people make bad choices.
Why do you have to brake so aggressively?
Because the lights are turned red.
You just wasn't paying any attention then, was you not?
And that's not his job. There's something very weird and innocuous about a train on the road.
There is, yeah.
Because that's what it is, really.
A road train.
Who's stronger, you or a horse?
I'd imagine a horse would be.
Horses don't eat meat. What's your next argument?
Oh. Lunch with a spider, and the hedgehog of truth. Lunch with the keys on the table, and the boaty's setting up a camera. It is after lunchtime, and this is the point where I'm going to decide that Boaty and I should be doing something more useful than gently closing the door of a Rover R8. So next, we're going to go around the back and make a path, aren't we?
This is the difference between a top-of-the-range Rover and a top-of-the-range Honda of the time. Watch.
Here comes the point of today where I'm going to see if I can get the lanky man motivated to do something that I don't feel like doing. Or in actual fact, motivated to do something I could do, but probably easier for me to do it. But I'm going to get him to do it anyway. Should we remove that then? Is that what you're saying? So you're more bothered about having to step over that than getting your feet all muddy?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Well, it's true.
You just don't want to be putting your hands on bricks. That's what it is.
Well, that's also true. Well done. Yeah, very good.
They'll fit your hands.
Well, that would be manual labour.
You can do manual labour.
Yeah, but I choose not to. I mean, manual.
You don't want anyone telling you that you're lazy, do you?
It's the decent chap's rule, and a decent chap would always pay another chap to do things that a decent chap should pay another chap to do.
Right, I've got an idea then.
If you want me to be honest, then I don't see massive value in the paved path. If everything else was right, don't get me wrong, it would be fabulous. What I would much rather would be if the caravan were actually level and you didn't have to climb over things to get to it.
Right, well, you sort that out, I'll sort the path out.
Well, I can't sort that out.
Okay.
I'm incapable of moving this mystery car.
Brick walls everywhere, and he's one of them. So how about I'll do the path, which I've just promised my viewer that I would be getting you to do.
Right.
And whilst you go and sort out the repairs on the 600.
that pocket is upside down.
Yeah?
What do you think about that?
I don't think anything about it because I'm talking about something else.
Right. I've come to the conclusion that this cover is on backwards.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because if this was the other way round, that pocket would be the right way up.
Yep. But why though? Why would you want a pocket like that? If that pocket was the other way round, then it would hold water in there. And so if you've got documents in there, or whatever it is you need a pocket for, they would get soaked.
Unless they were, carefully wrapped in, Well, I've just cogitated. You... I love you.
Step inside, sir.
Oh yeah, I'd rather not. Oh, bless him.
There we go. A nice brick path, as laid by Boaty.
T-shirt on.
Thanks for that.
Girlfriends, couldn't you?
Eh?
You could put that T-shirt slogan on a T-shirt of Mike's girlfriends, as laid by Boaty.
Yeah. That's why you should never cry over spilt milk. Ronnie Pickering. It's come to that time of day where it's nearly 6 o'clock. Because it's still light outside, we don't realise what time it is. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the caravan and have a business talk and a live stream at the same time, which is a highly stupid idea, and that's why we both agree it's a good idea. Well, the cat's still there.
Come on, you know you want to.
That's the friendliest of all the cats here so far, but even that one doesn't want to come to you.
Oh, Simone was fired from a job in 1999 for going to hospital after an accident.
I've just popped up to have a last cup of tea whilst Bolty's doing the live stream. A live stream, a business plan live stream, talking business in the live stream. Jolly good idea. The only thing is, I've come up and forgotten the key for the lockup. It's 6:30 now, and we have had a couple of productive moments whilst here. We have a plan for all of the cars now, including the 623, the 2 dented cars, the Land Rover, and Fred the Shed.